Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Battle Through the Heavens Part 236 based on novel. So let's start. If one were to rank the 9 mysterious golden lightning like a heavenly flame on the heavenly flame ranking, this lightning would boast a position equivalent to the purifying demonic lotus flame or even the nihility devouring flame. This 9 mysterious golden lightning would only appear after refining a tier 9 golden pill. It was an earth-shaking matter each time this lightning appeared. The world would quiver and even elite doshens would appear tiny and insignificant under the might of this lightning. Within some of the ancient books, there were records of the unusual natural phenomenons forming when an alchemist, who had reached the peak, refined a tier 9 golden pill. The most frightening aspect of this unusual phenomenon was the 9 mysterious golden lightning. Even an ordinary elite doshen would be turned into dust if that expert touched it even a little. Of course, the 9 mysterious golden lightning was extremely rare even during the golden age of the ancient era. It had been thousands of years since the 9 mysterious golden light had appeared on the Dochi continent. In other words, the tier 9 golden pill had not appeared on the Dochi continent for thousands of years. However, probably no one in the world could refine this divine medicinal pill. Even Xiao Yan could only remain quiet before these words. Given his medicinal refinement skills, he might not dare to say that he was the best on the continent, but it would not be difficult for him to be ranked among the top 3. However, the highest tier medicinal pill that he had ever refined was a tier 9 treasure pill. He had never attempted to refine the tier 9 mysterious pill. Even less needed to be said about the higher-ranked tier 9 golden pill. Hence, the legendary 9 mysterious golden lightning was something he had only ever read about in the ancient books. Although he had never seen it, he was still able to recognize the 9 mysterious golden lightning at first glance because of his sharp spiritual perception. This place has actually produced a 9 mysterious golden lightning. Even with Xiao Yang's fortitude, he involuntarily felt his breathing became a little difficult at this moment. It was a long while later before his mouth finally emitted a low mutter without him even realizing it. His voice was filled with shock and disbelief. The huge golden lightning dragon lay in the deepest part of the lightning sea. Its eyes were tightly shut. Golden lightning arcs continued to flash over its body. An extermination-like energy quietly spread, causing the empty realm to appear extremely distorted. The densely packed bolts of black demon lightning lingered 10,000 feet away from the golden lightning dragon, as though they were worshipping their king. Xiao Yan involuntarily swallowed a mouthful of saliva as he examined this scene. That faint sound was exceptionally loud in this completely quiet realm. Hence, many bolts of the black demon lightning suddenly turned and charged at Xiao Yan like many furious pythons. Xiao Yan merely withdrew once the black demon lightning being started to charge over. His eyes rapidly flickered as he turned around and fled. He was not afraid of the black demon lightning, but he could not afford not to be afraid of the lightning dragon, which appeared to be in a slumber. He could sense a terrifying aura emanating from the dragon's body. He admitted that he was far inferior to that aura based on his guess. If one used human levels to measure the lightning dragon's strength, this lightning dragon was likely equivalent to a 7-star doshen. This level was something that Xiao Yan could not fight against. Hence, he did not hesitate to turn around and flee after discovering the level of the dragon's aura. Bang bang! Xiao Yan's fleeing attracted an increasing number of black demon lightning beings, so they chased after him. In an instant, the deepest parts of the lightning pool seemed to have churned. Xiao Yan had barged into their holy land and seemed to have infuriated them. Bolts of black demon lightning surged from all directions, headed towards Xiao Yan. Under the assault from such a number of black demon lightning beings, even Xiao Yan ended up feeling his scalp go numb. He waved his hand and the Northern King appeared above his head. Xiao Yan's shoulders subsequently shook as Little Yi appeared. After which, Little Yi flew below him. Both the Northern King and Little Yi guarded Xiao Yan from above and below respectively. The waves of black demon lightning beings arrived after Xiao Yan summoned Little Yi. However, a suction force erupted from the Northern King and Little Yi when they were 100 feet away from Xiao Yan. All of these bolts of lightning were absorbed into the duo's bodies. Let's go. Xiao Yan did not dare to remain still after easily blocking the attacks of the black demon lightning beings. A pair of bone wings appeared on his back. He was just about to hurriedly flee away when the pores all over his body suddenly opened wide. He hurriedly turned around and coincidentally saw the golden lightning dragon within the lightning pool slowly open its eyes. Lightning flashed and thunder roared within the dragon's eyes, as though the entire world had shot into those huge dragon eyes. This is bad. That big fellow has awakened. Dragon's pair of cold emotionless eyes stared at Xiao Yan, causing him to feel as though his head was about to explode. The green-red bone wings on his back were flapped with great force as his body turned into a ray of light which fled from this lightning pool. Rumble. The golden lightning dragon widened its huge mouth after seeing Xiao Yan flee at such a rapid speed. 1,000-foot large golden lightning emitted a crackling sound as it shot out at the speed of light. Within a flash, it had caught up to Xiao Yan. The golden lightning, which rushed at Xiao Yan from behind, caused his eyes to narrow. This speed left no room for him to escape. He decisively turned his body around. Majestic Do Chi swiftly gathered on the surface of his body like an enormous black hole-like swirl. With a wave of his hand, the Northern King was placed in front of him. Little Yi also flashed with a fire glow as he appeared on Xiao Yan's shoulder again. His small face currently revealed a rare solemnness. Xiao Yan was not given the opportunity to sigh in relief after forming many layers of defenses. The golden lightning filled his eyes before it ruthlessly struck the Northern King's body. Bang! That powerful collision sent the Northern King's body backwards. Xiao Yan hurriedly pressed on its back, but he was unable to block that huge force. Instead, he was also sent flying. Although the Northern King's body was sent flying, its ability to absorb lightning strength once again appeared. One could see many golden lightning arcs leaping around its body. They were like tiny insects that continuously burrowed into its body. At the same time, Xiao Yan had been struck by the lightning since his hand had been touching the Northern King's body. That frighteningly wild and violent energy shook and destroyed the Do Chi swirl on the surface of his body. Fortunately, Little Yi quickly stepped forward. He completely unleashed his devouring power and ruthlessly sucked in these golden-colored lightning arcs. The enormous golden lightning wrapped around Xiao Yan, Northern King, and Little Yi. Many huge lightning arcs continuously flickered. The surrounding black demon lightning beings, which had been rushing over, hurriedly came to a halt before fleeing into the distance. None of them dared to even come close to the golden lightning. Xiao Yan clenched his teeth while surrounded by the lightning arc. After Little Yi had devoured the golden lightning, an extremely destructive and mighty energy surged into his body. This was the energy that Little Yi had fed back to him. Xiao Yan hurriedly focused his mind on top of feeling shocked. He firmly controlled this vast and mighty energy, directing it through his medians. Wherever this energy passed, tiny golden arcs would flash before his body would emit waves of piercing pain. Even after being filtered by Little Yi, the energy from this 9 mysterious golden lightning still caused Xiao Yan to suffer. Fortunately, the interior of his body had already been strengthened by the black demon lightning. Hence, he did not need to worry about any danger despite suffering a bitter sensation. A golden lightning glow flickered. Xiao Yan tried his best to refine the wild and violent energy within his body. After a couple of minutes, the cold perspiration on his face finally diminished. That rebellious wild horse-like energy gradually turned into waves of floodwater like pure Do Chi that flowed into his bones. Xiao Yan suddenly discovered that his strength, which had ceased rising earlier, had actually begun to once again grow at a slow pace. If this trend continued, he would likely reach the advanced level of the 5-star of the Doshan class within a short moment. This sudden surprise caused Xiao Yan's face to involuntarily reveal joy. However, this joy had yet to spread when he was awoken by a crack sound. His eyes hurriedly shifted to the Northern King, only to find that its skin, which was covered in golden lightning arcs, had cracked and formed a faint gap. What a terrifying 9 mysterious golden lightning! Even the body of the Northern King cannot endure it. Xiao Yan's heart immediately became cold after seeing the crack that had formed. If Little Yi had not used his fire spirit to refine the lightning, even Xiao Yan would not dare to absorb this destructive energy. he immediately waved his hand and hurriedly put the Northern King into his storage ring. Xiao Yan had spent a lot of effort in order to refine this puppet. He would really feel his heart ache if the Northern King were to be destroyed in this place. Xiao Yan's body rapidly withdrew after he stored away the Northern King. Little Yi on his shoulder unleashed his devouring power to its limit. Finally, he absorbed the rest of the golden lightning into his body all at once. Immediately, the surface of his small body exploded and formed many golden lightning glows. The purifying demonic lotus flame within was unleashed to its limit to madly refine this lightning. I have broken through. Xiao Yan's body suddenly shook as an increasing amount of vast and mighty energy surged into Xiao Yan's body. A joy rose within his eyes. His strength had been elevated to the advanced level of the 5th star of the Doshan class by relying on the strength of this 9 mysterious golden lightning. He had, at the very least, saved half a year's of training. Hurry and leave. Xiao Yan's body hurriedly withdrew as he relied on Little Yi to swallow the last bit of the 9 mysterious golden lightning. His eyes glanced at the deepest part of the sea of lightning as he withdrew. Many huge lightning arcs suddenly exploded from the golden lightning dragon's large body. A dragon roar containing a great misery reverberated across this sea of lightning in an earth-shaking manner. The black demon lightning beings around it withdrew into the distance in fear. A spiritual aura is gathering. This 9 mysterious golden lightning is actually trying to form a spirit. This understanding caused Xiao Yan's rapidly withdrawing figure to suddenly pause. His eyes quickly flickered. Although this 9 mysterious golden lightning was extremely terrifying, it did not possess an intelligence. In other words, it could not be called a spirit. This so-called spiritual gathering was actually the formation of intelligence. If this 9 mysterious golden lightning succeeded, it would turn into an existence similar to the purifying demonic lotus flame of the past, a 9 mysterious golden lightning with intelligence. Of course, this was not something that Xiao Yan desired. However, the 9 mysterious golden lightning would enter an extremely weak state while forming a spirit. Even with Xiao Yan's mental fortitude, his heart began to pound at a greater speed as he thought of its weakened state. From this, one could gain an understanding of just how terrifying the body of the 9 mysterious golden lightning was. However, everything required to increase one's lower also carried a risk. If there was a high risk involved, a greater reward would naturally follow. Even if Xiao Yan did not use the 9 mysterious golden lightning to break through to the 6th star of the Doshan class after absorbing it, just having it in his hands meant that Xiao Yan would possess a killing weapon against an opponent who had reached the 7th star of the Doshan class. The temptation that came from such a powerful weapon caused Xiao Yan's calm heart to pound despite the risks that accompanied it. Although Xiao Yan's strength had reached the peak level within the continent, his opponents were not ordinary beings. Having another trump card in his hand was equivalent to having another life. It is really the case of seeking treasures from danger. Xiao Yan slowly withdrew the excitement within his heart. His eyes continued to flicker as he glanced around the deepest part of the lightning sea. After hesitating within his heart for a short moment, he finally made up his mind. He would act if he found an opportunity, but if it was still extremely difficult to subdue the 9 mysterious golden light in its weakened state, he could only choose to withdraw. Xiao Yan focused his mind after making his decision. His eyes swept over the many lightning arcs that were exploding on the enormous body of the golden lightning dragon deep in the sea of lightning. While the 9 mysterious goldening lightning was emitting a miserable roar, the surrounding black demon lightning began to flee into the distance. At this moment, they did not even feel like chasing Xiao Yan. Instead, they stayed 10,000 feet away from the 9 mysterious golden lightning. Even though they did not possess any intelligence, their instincts told them that the 9 mysterious golden lightning was experiencing an extremely critical moment. A golden bolt of lightning that was 1/5 the 9 mysterious golden lightning ruthlessly exploded on the surface of its body. A golden lightning arc filled with an exterminating strength wildly wiggled. This retaliation explosion caused even something as strong as the 9 mysterious golden lightning to struggle. However, some spirituality began to slowly rise within the dragon's ice-cold emotionless eyes. This caused it to appear to have gained a little more life and to no longer appear as cold as a statue like it did earlier. Xiao Yan involuntarily licked his lips upon witnessing this change. It was unexpected that this nine mysterious golden lightning had to endure such a ferocious retaliation in order to form a spirit, but if it was able to endure, it would likely become quite a terrifying existence in the future. There were all sorts of mysteries in this world. An example was the Bodhisattva ancient tree. It might only be an ancient tree, but at its peak, it was rumored to have even exchanged blows with an elite Dodi. Similarly, the Bodhisattva ancient tree did not possess much intelligence. The stronger a natural spiritual object was, the more difficult it was for it to form a spirit. This was the case for the Bodhisattva ancient tree, and it was no different for the nine mysterious golden lightning. Bang bang! After a spiritual aura rose within the eyes of the nine mysterious golden dragon, the retaliation within its body became even more intense. A thunder-like explosion reverberated from its body. Each terrifying explosion caused Xiao Yan's scalp to numb. Against these wild and violent explosions, the spirituality within the nine serene golden lightning dragon's eyes was scattered. What a terrifying backlash! No wonder the Bodhisattva ancient tree is unable to form a spirit. If it does, there is no telling just how frightening the retaliation force would be. Xiao Yan felt speechless as he watched the spiritual aura within the eyes of the nine mysterious golden lightning blast apart. From the looks of it, this nine mysterious golden lightning might not succeed in forming a spirit. The surrounding black demon lightning beings seemed to have also sensed this through their instincts while this thought flashed through Xiao Yan's heart. A mysterious sound of sadness was emitted from the sea of lightning. Countless bolts of black demon lightning gathered together and pounced toward the nine mysterious golden lightning. The many arcs of black demon lightning turned into tiny black electric sparks that invaded the nine mysterious golden lightning's body upon contact. After their entry, the intense explosions happening in the body of the nine mysterious golden lightning seemed to have weakened. It seemed as though these black demon lightning beings were using themselves to block the retaliation explosions happening within the body of the nine mysterious golden lightning. The spirituality within the eyes of the nine mysterious golden dragon became denser as many black demon lightning beings pounced over. At the same time, its originally bright golden body dimmed. The retaliation forces had caused it to grow weaker. Roar! The bolts of black demon lightning deep within the sea of lightning became even crazier while the nine mysterious golden lightning let out a sharp miserable roar. They fearlessly charged into its body, but as the spirituality within the nine mysterious golden lightning's eyes became denser, the explosions happening within the dragon's body became even more uncontrollable. The exterminating ripples that dispersed from it caused even Xiao Yan in the distance to feel afraid. Looks like this big fellow is about to fail. Being a non-related party, Xiao Yan appeared quite calm. His eyes swept over before he shook his head. The retaliation explosions that had been unleashed within the nine mysterious golden lightning's body had soared many times over. According to this trend, the bolts of black demon lightning were unable to suppress the lightning explosions regardless of how they pounced over. Once they failed to suppress these forces, the intelligence and spirit that the nine mysterious golden lightning had formed after much difficulty would be blasted apart. Xiao Yan softly sighed after clearly envisioning the end. The nine mysterious golden lightning had been formed after an unknowingly long period of time. It was indeed a pity for it to fail to form a spirit. The heavens might have blessed it with great strength, but they had also deprived it of other rights. Bang bang bang. The nine mysterious golden lightning appeared dim as it lay deep in the sea of lightning. Its body, which appeared to be made of gold, had also become a lot more illusory. It no longer had the ability to resist such a frightening backlash. The surrounding black demon lightning being ceased charging forward when the nine mysterious golden lightning deflated into the lightning sea as though it had accepted its fate. They lingered around the dragon and emitted deep whines. Their voices were filled with misery. Xiao Yan sighed after watching the nine mysterious golden lightning weaken. The dragon was no longer able to cause him to feel the danger he had felt earlier. The spiritual formation has failed. Xiao Yan shook his head. He stepped through empty space and rushed down. After which, he appeared deep within the sea of lightning. He looked at the 10,000-foot large golden lightning dragon from close proximity. The dragon was looking at him with a pair of extremely dim eyes. it did not launch any attacks. Why? However, the black demon lightning beings furiously rushed over when Xiao Yan had barged in again. They whistled and charged over, but little Yi rose from Xiao Yan's shoulder. Only then did these charging bodies came to a halt, as though they were extremely afraid of the baby. Give me your strength and I will help you form a spirit. Xiao Yan's body floated in front of the 9 mysterious golden lightning. His tiny body was just like an ant. However, his calm voice caused the dim dragon eyes of the 9 mysterious golden lightning to fluctuate. Great strength is the biggest obstacle to the formation of your spirit. Xiao Yan's hand gently pressed on a dragon scale in front of the 9 mysterious golden lightning eyes. Immediately, a pink flame surged from his finger. After which, he violently pulled. A bright golden lightning glow was immediately pulled out of the 9 mysterious golden lightning's body. The golden lightning vaguely gathered into a giant lightning dragon. The extraction was unexpectedly smooth. One reason was that the 9 mysterious golden lightning was extremely weak. The second was that it did not retaliate even a little, as though it had understood Xiao Yan's words. In order to possess intelligence, it was willing to abandon its strength. It was already tired of this kind of blurry feeling of existence. What a terrifying destructive force! The pink flame on Xiao Yan's palm soared. It transformed into a huge fire net that firmly restrained the golden lightning dragon. This was the strength within the 9 mysterious golden lightning's body. The destructive properties inside had greatly exceeded Xiao Yan's expectations. Even his body would explode if he were to absorb this destructive energy. Roar! The golden lightning dragon wildly struggled within the fire net. It wanted to escape, but it clearly did not possess the ability to do so without being driven by someone or something. Seal! Xiao Yan slid his finger across the air in front of him and a bloodline flew out. After which, a formation swiftly formed on the fire web. A fire glow shook and the fire net, which had wrapped around the golden dragon, began to rapidly shrink. Finally, it turned into a miniature lightning dragon that entered Little Yi's body. This destructive strength was something that only Little Yi's fire spirit could endure. Xiao Yan only sighed in relief after completing this task. His eyes returned to the 9 mysterious golden lightning in front of him. Since its strength had been extracted, it had turned into a 100-foot large golden dragon. Xiao Yan's hand gently rubbed the dragon head of this 9 mysterious golden lightning. His hand formed a seal and the spiritual aura around him swiftly gathered before turning into a spiritual seed that slowly entered the body of the 9 mysterious golden lightning. Currently, the 9 mysterious golden lightning was only an existence equivalent to a dozan. There was no retaliation as its spirit formed at this moment. Xiao Yan smiled when he saw the spiritually soaring within the dragon eyes of the 9 mysterious golden lightning. Obtaining intelligence was only too easy after giving up its power. In the future, you will be the only 9 mysterious golden lightning that possesses intelligence in this world. Xiao Yan once again patted the 9 mysterious golden lightning. After which, he suddenly turned around. His body turned into a bright light that rushed out of the lightning pool. The dragon eyes of the 9 mysterious golden dragons studded the back of the figure flying away from the deep lightning pool. At this moment, it was just like a small beast that had just been born. It firmly remembered the first person it had seen and would never forget him. A bright light shot over from the lightning pool in the empty realm. It escaped the lightning pool within a couple of flashes. After which, a figure turned around and looked back. He only quietly sighed in relief after verifying no unusual changes had occurred behind him. This human figure was naturally Xiao Yan, who had quickly left after obtaining the strength of the 9 mysterious golden lightning. The process of obtaining the energy had been unexpectedly smooth, so the burden weighing on his heart was only removed now that he had successfully left the lightning pool. A joy that could not be hidden surged within his eyes. He had obtained a rich reward during this trip to the lightning pool. Not only had he successfully strengthened the Northern King until it was comparable to a 6-star Doshan, he had even leaped from the initial level of the 5th star of the Doshan class to the advanced level of the 5th star of the Doshan class. Of course, the greatest reward was the destructive force that he had removed from the 9 mysterious golden lightning. Xiao Yan lifted his hand. The pink flame churned and little Yi appeared in a flash. At this moment, its small flabby hands had gained a golden dragon symbol. A destructive force, which caused one's skin to turn numb, rippled and spread from this symbol. EWA, little Yi's bright large eyes furiously gal-read at Xiao Yan. His mouth emitted a tender cry. He was a little upset that Xiao Yan had actually sealed such a dangerous thing within his body. It should be known that the strength of the 9 mysterious golden lightning was something that even the purifying demonic lotus flame had difficulty refining. Additionally, this strength was arrogant and untamable. It would explode if one were careless. At that time, one would really end up suffering. Relax, everything is fine, Xiao Yan laughed. He rubbed little Yi's head and comforted him. After which, he examined the golden dragon symbol with an expression of contemplation. Even though he knew that this symbol contained an extremely vast and mighty energy, he felt as though he did not know what to do with it. The energy within it was filled with an extremely rich extermination force. Even an elite 7-star Dosheng would not dare to absorb it. Even less needed to be said for him. It is extremely difficult to refine this thing even by relying on little Yi's purifying demonic lotus flame. It seems that I can only temporarily place it in little Yi's body and use the demonic flame to constantly refine it. I do not believe that I cannot do anything to it. Xiao Yan made up his mind after musing for a moment. He quickly swung his hand and returned little Yi to his body. Temporarily keeping this thing might not be a bad decision. It would help out if he were to suddenly find himself in a lot of trouble. I have been away for so long. I should return to the Dragon Island first. A thought passed through Xiao Yan's mind. The green-red bone wings on his back spread. His wings were flapped and his body rushed into the horizon of the nothingness like a falling star with lightning-like speed. By the time Xiao Yan had returned to the Dragon Island, the completely new island had caused him to feel a little shocked and startled. Numerous mountains stood on the vast island. Occasionally, some enormous ancient void dragons would fly next to the lingering clouds. Deep dragon roars continuously reverberated around the Dragon Island. The current Dragon Island was the combination of the 4 great Dragon Islands. Not only was it huge, it was also the first time that such a large number of tribe members had gathered together within the last few thousand years. These tribe members had been segregated to the 4 islands in the past and seldom had the opportunity to appear in the same place. Xiao Yan's figure was suspended high in the air. His spiritual perception swept across the island and a brow was involuntarily lifted. From his senses, there were nearly 10 elite Doshengs on the Dragon Islands, not any weaker than the Sky Mansion Alliance. It is indeed worthy of being the ancient Void Dragon tribe. Even though it has yet to recover its peak strength, it still cannot be underestimated by others. It seems that the claim that the ancient dragon tribe could contend against an ancient clan like the Gu clan or the Hun clan at its peak was not empty words. Xiao Yan praised and nodded. The 4 great dragon islands had many experts to begin with. Although many had died undergoing the Great Unification, there were not many losses in terms of the peak Dosheng. Now that the 4 great dragon islands had reunited, all of these experts naturally submitted to Xiao Yan. This lineup was naturally quite impressive. By just relying on this lineup, it was likely that no one could challenge the ancient Void Dragon's position in the magical beast world. Even the current Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe would have some difficulty challenging them. Xiao Yan naturally felt a great joy in his heart since the ancient Void Dragon tribe was able to retain such strength. Given his relationship with Xiao Yan, the relationship between the Sky Mansion Alliance and the ancient Void Dragon tribe would also be quite tight. With the secret aid of the ancient Void Dragon tribe, the position of the Sky Mansion Alliance would become extremely steady and unshakable. The guards in the air above the Dragon Island patrolled the sky more frequently than before. Section after section of ancient dragon guards flapped the dragon wings on their backs, overlapping as they patrolled the island. Xiao Yan, who was floating in the sky and feeling amazed at the change of the Dragon Island, was also detected by them. Immediately, a dozen-plus figures swiftly flew toward him, but the caution on their faces quickly became respectful after discovering Xiao Yan's identity. They bowed to Xiao Yan from some distance away before withdrawing. Their respectful actions caused Xiao Yan to smile. His body moved and rushed down to the Dragon Island. Within a couple of flashes, he had appeared in a quiet courtyard. Xiao Yan. The human figure that had suddenly appeared startled Kailin and Ziyang in the courtyard. They quickly recovered and cried out in pleasant surprise. Within less than 2 months, the Dragon Island has actually experienced such a drastic change. It seems that you, the Dragon Emperor, have some skill. Xiao Yan looked at Ziyang and laughed. You have been missing for nearly 2 months. If you had still not come back, we would have ended up dispatching people to the lightning pool in the empty realm to look for you. Ziyang curled her mouth. She did not display the prestige of the Dragon Emperor in front of Xiao Yan. Her tone was no different than a little girl. Your strength has increased again. Kailin by the side was extremely perceptive. She sensed Xiao Yan's change the moment he appeared, causing her to cry out in surprise. Advanced 5-star Dosheng, I had a lucky encounter within the lightning pool in the empty realm. Xiao Yan smiled but did not explain the encounter in detail. There was a countless number of black demon lightning beings deep within the lighting pool. An ordinary 4 or 5-star Dosheng would not be able to easily charge into it. He did not wish the ancient dragon tribe members to meet a mishap in that place if news of his growth spread. Moreover, the 9 mysterious golden lightning was still there. Although its strength had diminished, it was only a matter of time before it would recover its strength given its mysteriousness. A 9 mysterious golden lightning with intelligence and a strength at the 7th star of the Dosheng class was something Xiao Yang would have to flee from as quick as possible. Kailin and Ziyang could only bitterly laugh after Xiao Yang confirmed that his strength had increased. Within less than 2 months, Xiao Yan had leaped from the initial stage of the 5th star of the Dosheng class to the advanced level of the 5th star of the Dosheng class. This speed was a little too terrifying. Xiao Yan naturally understood their thoughts, but he did not explain anything to them. He had been lucky enough to meet such a large number of black demon lightning beings and had been able to rely on Little Yi's fire spirit body as a medium to refine and absorb the energy within them, enabling him to significantly strengthen. In other words, this was an opportunity that had been formed from his accumulated luck. Currently, the ancient void dragon is proceeding on the right track. I think that there is nothing for me to do. Hence, I think that it is time for us to return to the alliance. Xiao Yang glanced at Ziyang and informed her of his thoughts. Are you leaving? Ziyang frowned upon hearing his words. She nodded a little unwilling and said, it's just as well. The Sky Mansion Alliance has just defeated the Hall of Souls and is in the limelight. It is true that you cannot stay away for long. Additionally, the matter of the tribe joining the alliance has more or less been settled. You should inform the upper echelons of the alliance when you return this time around. Xiao Yang hesitated for a moment after hearing these words. He stared at Ziyang and said, the ancient dragon tribe has just completed its unification. You should be recuperating during this period of time. There is no need for you to get involved in the mess that is the Central Plains. Xiao Yan clearly understood that forming an alliance with the ancient Void Dragon tribe would be a good thing for the Sky Mansion Alliance. However, if he thought about the alliance from Ziyang's perspective, this was not a good decision. The internal conflict within the ancient Void Dragon tribe had just been resolved. If they chose to recuperate, they would be able to recover much faster. The Sky Mansion Alliance possessed many enemies, including an ultimate faction like the Hun clan. Choosing to form an alliance with the Sky Mansion at this moment would undoubtedly drag the tribe into various messes. The ancient Void Dragon tribe will always repay all favors. You have saved our ancient dragon tribe from danger twice. Every member of the tribe will never forget your favors. Regardless of what kind of trouble you get into, the ancient Void Dragon tribe will always be your friend. Ziyang's pretty eyes looked up to Xiao Yang. The words that came out of her mouth caused Xiao Yang to feel a little stunned and speechless. This was what the elders said. I was merely borrowing their words. The grave expression on Ziyang's face remained for a moment before it was broken by her saucy smile. Xiao Yan only bitterly laughed after seeing her smile. This girl. Relax, this is a decision the entire tribe has made. Even though I am the Dragon Emperor, I cannot block their decision. This is a reward the ancient Void Dragon tribe will give to you as a friend, Xiao Yan continued to sweetly smile. Xiao Yan could only nod his head since Xiao Yan had put it this way. Saying anything more would be putting up an act. At this moment, the Sky Mansion Alliance did indeed need such a powerful ally. Help me thank the various elders. I will definitely return to the Dragon Island in the future if I have the time. Xiao Yan waved his sleeve and a spatial crack appeared beside his body. You can send someone to the Dragon Island if there is anything you need. The ancient dragon tribe will do its best to help you. Xiao Yan slightly smiled as she replied. Xiao Yan loudly laughed and nodded. Without adding anything, he stepped forward into the crack. Kaylin's delicate figure flashed behind him and followed. The spatial crack slowly disappeared after she entered it, leaving behind Xiao Yan, who was staring at the disappeared crack at a loss. This video will end here.